A crafty wife. A housewife used to do wrong thing with her man servant. Once her husband saw her kissing the servant. As she noticed that she had been seen, she went to the husband and said, "Darling, this lad is dishonest. He had eaten your share of cookies. When I asked him, he denied. So I sniffed his mouth and got the smell of cookies. We should not let him stay in our house." Note: in the story, the act of kissing the servant was a grave offense. The clever Satan thought of deceiving her misdeed is none other than Maya. Not only women, but also men have such Maya, trickeries or pretenses. The hermit's Maya. Once there lives at a village a hermit, revered by a layman donor. For fear of robbers, the layman donor hid 100 pieces of gold in a hole near the hermit's monastery and said, "Venerable sir, please take care of it." The hermit said, "Devotee, it is not proper to ask a hermit to do so." Then a thought occurred to the hermit. 100 pieces of gold will be sufficient for me to live in comfort. And he dug up the gold and hid it in another place, close to a chosen footpath. On the next day, after having his breakfast, the hermit said, "My donor, I have been living here for so long that I must move to another place." The donor requested him again and again not to do so, but his pleadings were all in vain. All he could do was to see the hermit off at the village gate. After traveling some distance, the hermit returned and said, "Devotee donor, a blade of thatch from your roof is entangled in my hair. It is improper for a hermit to take things which are not given to him." The simple donor thought him to be so virtuous that he revered him even more. However, at that moment, a very wise guest, putting up at his house, said, "Have you ever asked the hermit to keep anything under his care? If so, please go and see." When he did so, he could not find the gold. So, together with the guest, they pursued the hermit and caught him red-handed. Note: in the story, the hermit returned a blade of thatch to the devotee in order to hide his theft. This wily act amounts to Maya. Thus, as deceit, stratagems, pariyaya Maya, can be employed even by some hermits or samanas. There is much trickery and cheating amongst the laity these days. Few people can be trusted. To associate with honest people is possible only as a result of wholesome deeds done in previous lives. Varieties of Maya. Apart from stories about the concealment of one's faults, there are many other tricks, such as show indignation by trembling rudely to pretend innocence, concealing one's guilt by way of treating the accuser, or by way of flatteries, etc. Cunning people as such are commonly found in dwelling houses, etc., where many people reside together. If during the night someone has discarded filth, night soil at an unsuitable place, he will pretend to have done nothing in the morning. If he releases foul wind, he will produce a similar sound by rubbing the leather rug so as to mislead others, i.e., he will make others think it to be the sound of the leather rug. Thus, there are many kinds of Maya. So the old folks used to say, 1,000 stratagems priyaya, 100,000 artifices Maya, an infinite number of tricks. Grains from 9 mats of sand and leaves from 9 cut trees are needed to reckon the number of tricks called Maya priyaya. Satya. Along with Maya, Satya should also be understood. When one pretends to have certain qualities and make others think highly of him, such kind of Lobha is called Satya. Maya conceals one's faults and pretends to be faultless, whereas Satya pretends to have non existent qualities. Both of them are trickeries or deceptions. Monks Satya, pretending to be virtuous though not, pretending to have good practice though having none, pretending to be learned though not. Such pretenses are called Satya. So long as his pretensions are not discovered by clever lay donors, the pretentious Satya monk may feel safe. Even when they see through the deceptions, they would opine, that is not our concern, whether he deceives or not. The monk continues to enjoy the fruits of his Satya. Satya in the lady. Satya means pretending to be virtuous though not, pretending to have mental concentration though having none, pretending to have ability though not, pretending to be a graduate, BA, MA, etc., though not, pretending to be rich though not, etc. These are the Satya in the lady. Evils of Satya. Maya and Satya are more wicked than Lobha, common greed. The following will clarify this fact. Monks, who have no morality, concentration, and wisdom, pretending to have them, will boast to be like the virtuous, who have real morality, concentration, and wisdom. As a result of such pretensions, they will suffer in samsara. The laymen who happen to take refuge in such monks will not gain knowledge. Offertories given to them will not be of much merit to the donors. There are also cunning people who pretend to have morality and concentration. Many girls come to grief on account of them, due to the indecent livelihood and the misdeeds of the so called gentlemen. Many people in towns and villages come to lead immoral lives. Not only the so called leaders, who pretend to possess good leadership ability, though having none, squander the lives and property of their followers, but also bring about loss of sovereignty and finally the country itself. Some girls put their trust in the men who pretend to be rich and prestigious. When they happen to marry such men, their marriage would in no way be blessed and auspicious, but end in disaster. Moreover, if one or both parties conceal their faults with Maya and pretend with Satya to be wealthy, they will be exposed soon after marriage. Then, can they love their cheating spouse or their relatives? Will they be happy if they live together without sincere love? To be a happily married couple, not only carnal desire, but also true sincere love is essential. A marriage between Buddhists is not meant for the present life only. If they live in harmony, together they will go to the temple and monastery, make offerings, and do good deeds. They are then likely to enjoy the resultant benefits in the cycle of rebirths. If marriages are tainted by Maya and Satya, the couple will do good deeds unwillingly and consequently be unable to enjoy benefits not only in this life but also in samsara. Therefore, people should be free from Maya and Satya if they ever intend to live a married life together. Thus, as Maya and Satya deceive one or many people, or even the whole country, as in the case of sectarian leaders who pretend to be Buddhas, or the whole world, they should be categorized as very wicked. However, people who regard themselves to be virtuous and have fulfilled perfections, parami, should take care that dishonest and wicked states of mind do not appear in them and in the people who are related to them, and they should all strive to be pure, intelligent, active, righteous, and noble minded personages.